was invited to the parking lot. But yeah, I would go to the parking lot and I would watch them all go up there. You can't really be mad at me because I've probably been faithful too. I probably knew that this whole time about you and I didn't say nothing.
All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them.
The industry is full of a bunch of sucking, riding, bending over the desk straight up like that. Whoever don't like it, bring it. Bring it. I don't give a... Bring it. Bring it.
Well, the industry is full of homo hate. I mean, it's like they got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play this.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executive. And it's like there's too much of that going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my music.
Every monster they fed you was meant to keep your eyes off the one name that never gets caught. Diddy, R. Kelly, Epstein, Weinstein. One by one, they were thrown in the spotlight. And somehow Jay-Z always walked out of the smoke richer, cleaner, and more untouchable than before. Now his name is hovering in the same files, the same blind items, the same whispered circles. The comedians, rivals, and so-called crazy insiders you were told to ignore are suddenly pointing in the same direction. Tonight we are lining up the power plays, the sacrifices, the age gaps, the occult performances, the Super Bowl deals, and the music people who are too scared to speak with their real names. By the end of this video, you have to decide for yourself. Is Jay-Z just another survivor of a rotten industry, or the one man the machine has been protecting, conditioning, and hiding behind every fallen monster until it is finally his turn to get got? You probably think you already know Jay-Z's story. He is the billionaire mogul, the chess player, the one who always walks away clean while everybody else catches the case. But lately, something in that script has started to glitch.
One thing that the files has confirmed is that the permanent A-list rapper has always been the fixer for the rich elite bankers and owners. And yet they don't really do anything for him. For years, he has wanted to be an owner or a partial owner of a pro team, and they won't let him. One person said that this is definitely about Jay-Z. He does not own a team. He does have control over the halftime shows, but he does not own a team, which is interesting because the NFL actually recently unfollowed Jay-Z because they don't want any association with him because of these Epstein files.
While this one dances around it on screen, those gossip blind item accounts have started whispering the same 3 words next to his name, the Epstein files. A few years ago, that sounded like pure fan fiction. Now there is an actual FBI tip sitting in federal paperwork that places Jay-Z in the same stack of documents as Epstein and Harvey Weinstein. No charges, no confirmed flight logs, but just enough ink to make lawyers nervous and public relations teams lose sleep. They do not even need to say it directly. The way they tease that thing about them Epstein files tells you everything. The aura of protection around Jay-Z is not what it used to be. The same rumor pipeline that once worked like a security system is now testing how close it can get to his name before somebody powerful decides to shut it down or offer up a new monster to distract you.
Because when the NFL has no issues, things like that, this is why I was saying I knew what boy was doing. Right. With the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Because he was doing
yeah, go ahead.
He was doing some wild shit. Because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me. And I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Right. Makes no sense. You know what I mean?
I was going to get to that later, but since we're here now. And when he says, oh boy, for the audience that don't, talking about Jay-Z, this was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just
threatened.
Possibly. Not even threatened. You know, I think it's just when you take the competition from like our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5.
Right.
And you still competing. It don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for?
Tell me.
What's the goal? Like, this even, like, a lot of this, even a lot of the competitive stuff, or what we would call it beef, right? And it changed, that terminology changed when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment.
Right.
When before that, they called it babbling in our culture.
Right.
Right. Because that's what it is until it turns into some street shit. Like,
right.
So when you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem?
You are looking at the part of the story most people never see. On the surface, Jay-Z is just the NFL live music partner, the guy who helps them look cool and inclusive. Underneath, you are hearing about a man who built his career on being uncancelable and who quietly decides who is allowed under the lights and who gets left in the parking lot while 50 is breaking it down here. Do not get distracted by the laughs. This is not a funny story. He is telling you Roc Nation did not want him at the Super Bowl. The only reason you saw him hanging upside down on that stage is because Eminem, one of the few people Jay cannot casually ignore, put his foot down and said, "If he does not go, I do not go." That is not a misunderstanding. That is a power move hitting a wall. As 50 explains how the call came from up top, you do not even need Jay on camera to feel his hand in the room. The message is clear. If he does not like you, the door quietly locks. No diss track, no public feud. Just a silent no that can erase you from the biggest moment of your career. Here is where the math gets ugly. While fans were side-eyeing the NFL and wondering why they would partner with the rapper after the Colin Kaepernick protests, the league was looking at spreadsheets. Beyoncé's homecoming proved that when this couple presses go, the numbers look like another Super Bowl. Ratings spike. Social media melts down. Brands throw money at anything with their name on it. That is why, even with controversy swirling and his name being whispered in places no one wants to be mentioned, Jay-Z's seat at the table never moved an inch.
They just made the Super Bowl for Christmas. You seen the Christmas show on Netflix?
Yeah.
You know how much money they got for that?
They supposed to do that though.
Bro, but it never happened before. So this is why
Netflix.
No, you got to go back now and say, why was the NFL continuing to support with all the confusion going on in the media? And maybe it's all of that found money right there from Netflix, because Beyonce, that Super Bowl money, that's real money, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're making the kind of money that you.
Yeah, that's serious, man.
I'm in support too. Motherfuckers make that much money for us. I'm like, hey, this is a million man. Sit down with us.
So put it together. An artist the culture loves gets quietly blocked until a white megastar threatens to walk. At the same time, the league bends over backward to keep Jay-Z in place because he and his wife can print Super Bowl money on demand. That is not just influence. That is leverage. Once you see how easily Jay can make or break a Super Bowl slot, you start wondering if he can do that to somebody as big as 50 Cent. What do you think he can do to a no-name witness, a scared assistant, or a young artist who decides they have had enough and wants to talk?
Was invited to the parking lot, but I would go to the parking lot and I would watch them all go up there.
There is a reason Katt Williams hits different when he talks about this world. He is not describing rumors he read online. He is talking about standing there, watching celebrities line up and climb onto buses headed straight into Diddy private parties. No cameras, no security footage for the public. Just a list of famous faces disappearing into a space where the rules suddenly get very flexible. The most chilling part is not what he says out loud. It is what everybody else in that moment chose not to say at all.
You can't really be mad at me because I've probably been faithful too. I probably knew that this whole time about you and I didn't say nothing.
When Katt admits he already knew about Jay-Z and Beyoncé and still kept quiet, he is not just confessing fear. He is giving you the blueprint of how this system works. The biggest names do not need to make threats themselves. The environment does it for them. You see people getting pushed into situations they can never talk about again. You see whose names are always floating around those rooms, and you learn very quickly that survival means staying silent.
All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of.
So when he shrugs and says it is all on these big deviant industry giants now, he has drawn a line in the sand. The joke is over. The parties are not harmless. The silence is not innocent. The same circle of powerful men keeps showing up next to every scandal, every lawsuit, every leaked story. Katt is not just warning them that they gon' get you one by one. He is warning us that the real pattern was never about one monster at all. It was about who was always standing just off camera, watching and walking away untouched.
Jay-Z came out with his children. No show for Beyoncé. Don't know why she didn't attend. I'm really confused. People are saying because she's having issues with Jay-Z, but when it's time for a united front, the Carters know how to play that card very well. So I don't think that them having any issues would reflect on the Super Bowl. Perhaps she just wanted to sit this out. Perhaps it was a stronger PR message. To be honest with you, I think Jay-Z runs that relationship anyways. I don't think she really has a say in most outside of, artist direction of her career, if you want to call it that. But I think that it's also more powerful PR-wise for Jay-Z to be seen with his children in the moment of time where these Epstein saga is all happening. It's quite similar to last year with the Busby lawsuit. They know how to maneuver. So they've learned from that. And it's the same time, era, first quarter of the year. And so I guess it's more powerful for Jay-Z to be seen with his two daughters. And him playing more of the father figure is what these images give, as opposed to Beyonce also being there. You could say that with Beyonce there, it gives a family unit. Whilst I agree, I do think that PR-wise, this would be more powerful, showing him with his daughters. But again, he's wearing that statement. The game needs me. He's come to repeat that to remind people that he's not going anywhere. I still run, the NFL. The NFL are posting everything about me. My daughters are here looking beautiful. I'm playing Father of the Year. You guys can't get rid of me as much as you want to, whatever targets are on my back. So this is, again, another strong message that Jay-Z is putting forward. And of course, he would use the Super Bowl to do this because all eyes are on the Super Bowl. It's one of the most watched events in the world.
Jay-Z did not randomly decide to step out as super dad that day. He chose a public stage. He chose to bring his daughter. He chose to wear a shirt that literally said, "The game needs me." At the exact moment his name was starting to float around in the ugliest paperwork on the planet, this was not just an appearance. It was a declaration. Look at the timing. Whispers about Epstein. Rumors about who is in those files. Suddenly, the man in question is parading his child in front of cameras, radiating wholesome, untouchable billionaire energy. The message is clear. I am family. I am legacy. I am the culture. You cannot afford to believe the worst about me. When you notice how precisely his public appearances line up with private storms, and how often the relatable dad and harmless mogul moments show up right when the internet starts asking hard questions, you begin to wonder if you are watching a real life or a very expensive public relations spell being cast in real time to keep one particular name safe while everybody else burns.
Why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Diddy was never the end of this story. He was the perfect villain. Flashy, reckless, surrounded by cameras and chaos. Easy to hate, easy to headline, easy to throw to the wolves when the raids finally hit. But listen to how Jaguar Wright frames it. She is not shocked Diddy fell. She is asking a different question. If he was the acceptable monster the industry was willing to sacrifice, then who was the one they were really protecting the whole time? The person high enough to design the play and far enough back to avoid the blood.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Katt Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyoncé, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
When she talks about Aaliyah Plain, about a young star who dies while another young woman's career quietly rises, it stops feeling like random tragedy and starts sounding like a pattern. Jag describes a food chain where accidents are not always accidents, where certain voices get silenced and certain careers get pushed forward, and the same man somehow keeps landing on his feet every time. She is not just accusing someone of being cruel, she is accusing them of understanding exactly how sacrifice works in this business. Who gets removed? Who gets promoted? Who gets paid to stay quiet? Put that next to what we have already seen. Diddy facing charges. R. Kelly going down after years of protection. Weinstein finally facing trial. Jay-Z name quietly hovering in Epstein paperwork while his life goes on as if nothing happened. At some point, you have to ask, is he just the luckiest man in a cursed industry, or is he the one the system has been rearranging the board to protect all along, using men like Diddy as disposable pieces while the real king stays untouched?
Hypothetically, Jay-Z leaves the country right now. He goes Russell Simmons.
He could.
Yeah.
He could do that.
He's a quiet man regardless, so it doesn't quite matter if he's here or not.
I mean, Jack, did he leave the country? Because that's what everybody's saying.
That's what everybody's saying. He should be here this weekend. It's the Super Bowl. I mean,
Right.
Bad Bunny was his pick, and all of that stuff is going to happen. If he's not at the Super Bowl, that's going to be quite telling. But it doesn't matter if he's here or if he's not. Right now, there's an entire machine that is working to try to find a way to salvage his image. You've got people like La Russell signing the Rock Nation. You've got, he's not a bad guy, and he's nothing like people say. Really? Like we're not supposed to believe.
When people start talking hypothetically about Jay-Z leaving the country, they are not really speaking in hypotheticals. They are saying what many in the industry quietly believe. If things ever got too hot, this is a man with enough money, power, and connections to disappear for a while and then come back as if nothing happened. The wild part is that even if he stepped away, people still expect him front and center at America's biggest show. That is how deep his roots run.
He's a proper villain. He's a proper villain, but he's a villain. And when you just look at how they talk about in those files, like how he was used to keep the blacks in line, how he was used, like it's clearly, eloquently explained how he was chosen and selected and put in power to mislead the black community into doing whatever the white corporations wanted them to. Like, it pretty much details that he is the biggest sellout to to blacks in America, like one of the biggest sellouts of all times, and people are still trying to.
Jag does not describe Jay as just another artist. She calls him a proper handler, a man placed at the top to keep black people in their place. That is a serious accusation. It suggests he is not just surviving the system, he is helping enforce it. While the machine works to clean up his image, line up Super Bowl moments, and convince you there is nothing to see here, she is saying he is the one making sure the right people stay scared, broke, or obedient. When you put those pieces together, the picture becomes uncomfortable. On one side, there is a public relations team working hard to keep Jay-Z where the cameras are safest. Corporate partnerships, family moments, billion-dollar deals. On the other side, there are insiders hinting that if he ever felt real pressure, he could step away, regroup, and return with a bigger stage and an even cleaner smile. That is not just a powerful celebrity. That is someone the system is afraid to lose and even more afraid to expose.
If you take people like Jay-Z and Pusha T, they made their living killing our people. So how the f*** gonna stand up for our people? You know what I'm saying? But we forget that because we love Jay-Z's music so much. We love Pusha's music so much, right? But you think they would ever, oh, Beyonce had the best for somebody else? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You think they would ever tell the truth? No, if they told the truth about anything, they'd go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So you have liars. Man. Liars are now the face of our culture.
When Kanye talks about Jay-Z, it does not sound like a simple rap rant. It sounds like someone who has been in the same rooms, seen the same handshakes, and finally got tired of pretending it was all business. When he talks about people being deleted so one man can sit at the top, he is not describing a theory. He is describing a ladder where certain careers mysteriously stall, certain people mysteriously vanish, and one name keeps benefiting every time.
Harley passing, they follow me to the hotel. Then they kill Aaron Carter, and now they acting like they won't kill a Backstreet Boys sample. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Harley passing that Pusha, your trainer. Harley passing that Jay-Z. You get what I'm saying? And then they be hanging around these just for the money or some Mike Rubin. Slap the shit out of Mike Rubin. I see that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, these bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my Farrakhan Don right now, bro. Because guess what? These Yeezys gonna sell. They sabotage the show today.
Then you add the Harley Pasternak piece. The trainer threatening to drag Kanye back to zombie land if he does not behave. The picture becomes clearer. This is not just about money or charts. It is about control, chemical control, legal control, institutional control. Kanye is basically saying, these are not just music executives, they are handlers. And in his story, Jay-Z is not a clueless bystander. He is standing shoulder to shoulder with the people Kanye calls evil, cashing the same checks and protecting the same structures.
The woman that has been accused of SA by 3 of her employees got on the internet trying to defend Jay-Z. And you know, those accusations about Jay-Z, it's related to the Epstein list. Don't worry, Lizzo, I saved the post. I'm going to make sure that everybody sees it.
In the comments, I knew she was wrong. Jay-Z, I knew he was... What did it say Jay-Z did? He was there in 1996? Come on, people. Like, y'all are falling for it. It's the easiest, oldest trick in the book. And honestly, I'm losing faith in the average intelligence of the American person.
Wait, are you suggesting that you're smarter than the average American person because you're famous? Anyways, go on.
Just because somebody's name is mentioned in a 3 million document file of a person's life who's been lived over crimes who've spanned decades, doesn't mean that every single person is an accomplice. He could be mentioned. He referenced Jay-Z once. He was like, oh, we could learn from Jay-Z's business model. Why up? Where's the crime? Focus.
I bet whoever does your PR had a straight up meltdown when they saw that you made this post, because there are claims against you that are so bad I can't detail them in this video. Yeah, and everybody has been wondering for years why Jay-Z gets to walk free while everybody around him seems to get in trouble. And then here you are, getting on the internet trying to defend him.
That is why the reactions matter. Look at who runs out first to defend Jay-Z the moment his name gets connected to Epstein talk or industry exploitation claims. It is not elders with spotless reputations. It is Lizzo, someone already dealing with her own misconduct accusations and hostile workplace claims. When she stands in front of him, it does not clear his name. It makes you question what is really being protected. His reputation or the entire system that kept both of them wealthy while others were harmed. If someone were truly innocent and untouchable, why would the people risking their own credibility to defend them be the ones already facing lawsuits and bad headlines? That is not a choir of saints. That is a circle of mutually assured destruction. Everyone stands together, everyone lies together, and if one falls, the rest have a lot to answer for.
Yo, don't put up no movies. I said, that's not my style. That's not what I'm going to do. Yeah, I could have put up movies. I could have showed the R. Kelly video that everybody's talking about, made fun of it, and said, yo, Jay's hanging out. When Jay and them was in there playing Vegetable World, you can't tell me Jay didn't see a 14-year-old girl come in the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap. You can't tell me, you want to tell me that working on that album, that he ain't never seen no girl come in the vicinity?
My belief is that anybody who's worked with him and been in his cipher has seen it go down.
You've seen it go down.
Yeah.
When Nas accuses Jay-Z of being in the studio with R. Kelly while 14-year-old girls were around, he is not speaking as a blogger or YouTuber. He is speaking as a peer, a rival, a man who was there when it was happening. The part that stays with you is not just the disgust in his voice. It is the timeline. By the time Jay and Kelly released joint albums and toured together, the tape, the rumors, and the questions about underage girls were already public. Jay did not miss the red flags. He walked past them and kept making money. Add that to the age gap timeline with Beyoncé, a relationship that keeps being retold with cleaner numbers each time, and a pattern begins to form. This is someone who seems to find a moral line only after the public draws it first. When it was profitable, he stood next to R. Kelly. When it was profitable, he connected himself to Diddy World. When it is profitable, he leans into the family man image and lets people rewrite history about when and how he met his wife. None of this proves a specific crime, but it does show the kind of company he is comfortable keeping and the behavior he is willing to overlook until it threatens him.
Would you want to throw yourself out there when you have people that have access to lawyers, who have access to private investigators, who have the ability to hunt you down at your house, at your doctor's office, hunt down your family members, bother them, And by the way, just in case people have forgotten the details that I'm speaking of, that's what happened to that 13-year-old autistic victim. Well, she was 13 at the time. She's now in her late 30s, of course, in Alabama, who was being represented by Tony Busby. When you think about what happened with her situation, like, let's think about that, because she was all kinds of railroaded, all kinds of stalked, all kinds of to the point where she was willing to dismiss her lawsuit with prejudice, meaning the lawsuit could never be brought back up again. Those claims could never be addressed in court again. And it was all because they were lying, right? They were lying. And then your accuser goes to court to sue your lawyer for defamation. Can't prove it. It gets thrown out. They take it to a higher court because they're looking for consideration. Still can't prove it. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's who's going to protect these people?
No, exactly. No.
Who's going to protect these people? Who's going to protect their peace? Who's going to protect their name? Who's going to, like, I've been saying this. Think about it. Think about it. Look at Diddy's trial. Diddy's trial in itself is enough to make people who are anonymous and hiding their identity from all of this stuff. That right there, it just says it. Period. Do not come forward, because there's going to be no justice. They're going to get slaps on the wrist. Like, we were talking about Epstein, and when he got charged, slap on the wrist.
Yeah. Yeah, no, when you say it like that, someone coming out, facing their accuser, looking for justice, and that justice is only 50 months in a camp, may come back out to the access to the money that he already had. You're right. It's a maybe. And there's a level of fear there.
Katt can joke about big deviants. Kanye can rage about handlers in zombie land. Nas can make claims about underage girls in the studio. But listen to Jaguar here, and you understand why most people never go that far. She talks about alleged accusers who are not just afraid of online backlash. They are afraid of losing their jobs, their families, and in the darkest versions of these stories, their lives. In her telling, being connected to Jay-Z is not just a scandal. It is a sentence. Once your identity becomes known, you are playing the same dangerous game that victims of Epstein and Diddy say they faced. Stay quiet or risk disappearing in a way that headlines will call tragic and mysterious. If the accusations around Jay-Z are even partly true, you would not expect a long line of witnesses posting on social media. You would expect what Jaguar describes: whispers in private rooms, anonymous tips buried deep in federal paperwork, people hoping someone else speaks first, so they are not alone. So when you look at Jay-Z now, with his name appearing in the wrong files, his allies falling apart, comedians and former insiders speaking more boldly, it forces an uncomfortable question. Is he really the last innocent man standing in a dirty industry, or simply the last one still being protected? History shows that protection does not last forever. At some point, the same system that made you powerful decides it needs a new sacrifice. When that day comes, you do not rise above the chaos. You become the headline everyone swore they would never see.